Sound sensitivity can show up in a number of different ways other than just the classical sign of when things are loud, I get stressed. Sensitivity to sound can show up as a child who's easily distracted when there's noise. It could show up as a child who just doesn't like loud noises or loud places. It can be a child who can maybe handle when there's one loud noise, but if he's in a place where there's multiple different noises and stimuli, he or she just gets overloaded. It could be a child who is very loud or talks a lot. And it can also be a child who just overall has a hard time listening. No matter how sensory sensitivities are showing up in our children's lives, it's important to recognize that these challenges really are a window into how a brain is functioning. And a child who's sensitive to sound is a child who is not using fully developed or appropriate developmental tools to be able to process their world in an auditory and verbal fashion. So it might not just be the sound sensitivity itself, but they might be using less complex tools to interact with the world, like primitive reflexes or like movement and touch. No matter what tools a child is using, it's important to evaluate so that we can understand how their brain is functioning, and more importantly, what we can do to help them ascend the appropriate developmental trajectory to be able to use more appropriate tools like auditory verbal processing and eventually visualization and cognition, which is the most efficient tool to be able to learn, engage, and process in our world.